BLVE Live Sports presents The Hot Seat, where the people have a say in how we play pickleball. Sponsored by hosted by today's guests,
welcome to the Hot Seat, where the people have a say in how we play pickleball. In today's episode, we travel to Franklin, Indiana, where we have an opportunity to interview two USA Pickleball certified referees. Bob Swisshelm and Ron West sit down with us and have a discussion about what it takes to be a USA Pickleball certified referee. John Miller, a local firefighter as well as a pickleball enthusiast, will be interviewing our two guests. Please welcome John.
Thanks for joining us on the Hot Seat. My name is John Miller. We're here in Franklin, Indiana at Drop Shot. I'm here with two USA Pickleball certified refs. We're here to talk about how to become a ref. If I can go ahead and introduce you to our two guys here. Do you want to go ahead?
Hi, my name is Bob Swisshelm. As John said, I am a USA Pickleball certified ref. I have been for about 5 years now, and I have the pleasure of traveling around the country refereeing at professional pickleball tournaments. It's a blast. Come join us.
I'm Ron West, also a certified referee, and I'm from the hometown that Bob's at, Greenwood, Indiana.
Good. So let's go ahead and jump into how you got started with reffing and how that process looked for you.
Sure, thank you. I retired at the end of 2017, and I had this wonderful plan of how I was going to spend my retirement teaching and skiing and bowling. And then a friend of mine got me hooked on pickleball, and it took only about 30 days until I ditched all of my other retirement plans and decided that I was going to be playing pickleball. That summer I had a torn meniscus that laid me up for about 8 weeks. And instead of going back into my dark basement and playing video games, I decided that I was going to start watching some pickleball videos. And I saw this person on the sideline that got to talk really loudly and occasionally, got to point at people and yell at them, and then had this thing in their hand that flipped back and forth, and I really wanted to know what that was all about. So I went on to the USA Pickleball website that we're going to talk to you a little bit later, and I found the wealth of self-study materials that they had available to me, and I kind of taught myself from that stuff, and then that's how I got started.
I basically got started watching Bob, I guess, if you think about it. I was a pickleball advocate, playing quite a bit of pickleball, and we're fairly new to it, but got interested in refereeing, having watched on YouTube some tournaments and how the referee controlled the game and his or her input into it. I think I approached Bob, and he was more than willing to help me get started. And we initially started out, I had to do some homework, obviously, learn the basics and the rules, got the referee handbook and went through that. Got my clipboard and my clip, and Bob and I would sit on the sidelines and watch rec play, and I would try to keep up with him on the score sheet and flipping it back and forth and controlling the clip. And eventually I got proficient enough that I would actually referee some recreational games, and then just continue to do that and get that practice and make the necessary improvements. But the thing I noticed in the very beginning is the players, even though they were recreational players, they really enjoyed having a referee the games. They brought a new dimension to the game for them. Obviously, it took the necessary ingredient of watching for foot faults. We don't do much on the way of line calls as referees, but doing the rule interpretations and some of that, and it really enhanced their play too. So it was just a great opportunity for me to get more involved in pickleball, and And it was a journey. Obviously, my period of time was going through the COVID period, so there was a downtime there when there wasn't much play going on, either recreational or at the tournament level. But I continued to improve with Bob's help. Went through the process, did my what they call advanced training session, and eventually went for certification.
Yeah, good. That's good information. Thanks for that. So if I was to want to be a ref, what would you say would be the first? What would you point me to?
So USA Pickleball is the organization that sponsors pickleball, sets the rules and all that kind of stuff. They have a wealth of information and processes involved to help you and others become a pickleball referee. It's all online. So the place to go is usapickleball.org. Once you get to that main site, there'll be a drop-down menu, and you'll say Get Involved. So there's a Get Involved drop-down menu. Once you open that up, you'll see officiating and rules. When you click on that, you will now have a website that I strongly suggest that you bookmark that, because that website is the one that has everything that you need to know about becoming a pickleball referee. For example, it will have the rule book and the handbook that we just talked about. The rule book is the thing that actually are the rules that control the game. The handbook, from a referee's perspective, is the Bible. That is what tells you how to process the match. How do you hold the clip? What day you're allowed to say this and what day you're allowed to say that. And so that is a critical document for referee and referee training. The other thing that it has, and we'll go into this in more detail with some follow-up questions, but it has a referee search tool that will allow you to find a referee in your area who is designated to be a trainer. So not only is there a wealth of online information, but there's a whole organization of people like Ron and myself that are here to help you and guide you through that process.
Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of how that worked out for you guys. He saw you reffing and you made it look good, and he was like, hey, I should do that. And then
right. And Ron, I believe you attended one of the classes that I held. Is that true or not?
I think initially, Bob, we just worked one-on-one. You were willing to take the time to meet with me and help me get started. I will say that I've worked with Bob on some training sessions where he did multiple people, and of course he does it at a professional level. He has all the props and everything you need in order to run a good class kind of setting. I'm also a certified referee trainer, but I do it more on an informal basis, kind of one-on-one, working with individuals when I find people that are responsive to that.
In summary, usapickleball.org, get involved, officiating and rules. And that's where you'll find the website that has all of the information that we will hopefully go into a little bit more detail. But that's how you get started.
the next question I have for you is, how difficult is this process? Is it kind of a drawn out thing, or does the website pretty much guide you through everything?
You asked me two questions there, and so I'm going to answer them both. One is it kind of a long drawn out thing? And the answer is, it kind of depends upon how dedicated and how much time you want to go into it. So the website, and the next question you asked is, does the website have kind of a plan for how you do that? And the answer is yes. Okay, so let's talk real quickly. We talked about going to the website to get started. In the middle section there, when it talks about resources, it'll have a quick start video. I strongly suggest that anybody who's just kind of casually interested and wants to know, what is refereeing like? There's a quick start video there that was recorded a couple years ago, so it's a little bit out of date, but it's a wonderful 15-minute video that walks you through the process of refereeing a match. And so it gives you a really, really good idea of what it is that refereeing is kind of about. And it's important for you to decide whether or not doing that activity looks like it would be fun or if it would be a lot of work, right? And obviously it will be a lot of work, but you need it to be fun for you as well. Now, once you've made that decision, you say, hey, that looks like fun. Now what's the next step? The next step is going to be some self-study. There's the thing called a rule book that gee, surprise, surprise, referees need to know the rules, and they need to know them backward and forward, inside and out, and sideways, right? The other thing is this thing that we call a handbook. The referee handbook is the procedures that you will use in starting a match. For example, are you allowed to say 0-0 start? The short answer is
No,
there we go. And the correct answer is
002.
there we go. Okay, and all of that type of information is laid out in the handbook. And so there's a lot of reading, rereading, and practice that the referee student will need to do. So the website lays out all of that online material, and then it provides you a lot of training opportunities. There's online classes that are available. There's recorded classes that are available. Okay, and then there are, once you get through that, you also have a referee search tool that helps you identify referees in your area, like Ron and myself, that would be more than willing to either teach a class if there are enough people, or to work with you one-on-one. So you have online material, you have self-study, and you have resources that are available to you. And all of that is laid out in a pretty understandable way on the website. Now, if the website itself gets confusing, there actually is a video there as well, recorded by some guy that I know, that it walks you through how to actually use the entire website.
Good. So yeah, we'll let you get your minutes in here. We don't want you falling asleep on us.
Well, as Bob outlined there, and he pretty much went through the technical side of it. Obviously, the rule book and the referee handbook, those are self-study things that you can do at home on your own. But the reference to the long drawn-out process really is not a long drawn-out process, in as much as your time spent on the pickleball courts, you're typically there anyway. Most people are playing every day or every other day, and so they're already there. And the drawn out part is just simply refereeing games, getting the practice that you need. Now, on your self-study, you learn the rules, right? And you went through the referee handbook, you know the procedures. The actual refereeing of rec games lets you apply those. You learn how to apply them, how to recognize when they should be applied, and things of that nature. And I tell people all the time when they're interested, it seems somewhat mysterious to them at first, and they think about all the technical aspects. But I tell them simply, listen, you play pickleball, right? Well, you already know the rules.
Right.
You know most of the rules. You don't know maybe all of them, but you know the basic rules. You know how to observe things that would be infractions. And so and you know how to keep score. You know, for most people starting pickleball, that's the biggest boo-boo for them, is how to keep score.
Yeah.
So you know the rules, you know how to keep score. You've got the basics. All we're trying to do now is to show you how to utilize the knowledge you currently have and do it with the mechanics that are involved, the clipboard, the clip itself, and then the observation of and being able to enforce the rules.
Okay.
But it's really the long drawn out part is just simply refereeing recreational games, getting all of that valuable experience, and that takes time. You're not going to do 200 games in a week. It takes time to get a couple hundred games under your belt. And I tell you, the enjoyment that you will derive from it far exceeds the difficult effort that you might have to apply.
Okay. So is that, you mentioned 200 games, is that the requirement?
No, there's not. So I think the focus of this particular discussion is how people get started, right? And so we'll keep it simple, but on that website as well, there's the certification process that describes how you go from being a trainee to a level 1 to a level 2 to a certified referee. And that's, when we talk about the long involved process, that's probably what people are talking about, because not only is there the requirement that you're going to be studying and practicing, but there's going to be some assessment in there. And that means that you've got to go find somebody. And there's not, you know, a certified referee within a 5-mile radius of everybody in the country, right? So sometimes that's a little difficult, is to go find a tournament where people are going to be there that can help you with that. But all of that's on the website in terms of the documentation of what that process is. And once you learn that, which again is a little bit beyond the scope of what we really want to go into here, but the organization is there to support you. Registered trainers will do all sorts of things. I think you referenced this thing called an ATS, an advanced training session, that we love to get together to help referees understand what it is, their requirement for the goal that they're doing. So again, all of that's kind of laid out, and the people that can help you do that is all laid out on that website.
Yeah, so earlier we talked about do they support you? How do they support you if you're going to be doing things on your own dime? What do you typically make? What's your compensation for being a ref?
Well, the compensation level is varied, and I'll just give you the APP and the PPA as an example. APP traditionally pays referees $15 a match, certified, and if you're there for the full 4 days or 5 days, a lot of times you'll get an extra stipend. It could be $50 or $75. I think level 2s, are they $10, Bob, at APP? PPA, I just did the PPA in Cincinnati. They moved it up to $20 a match. It was $17. They moved it up to $20 for certified referees, and I'm not sure what the levels were for level 2 and level 1, but they're compensated. A lot of local tournaments. I do a lot of local tournaments. Bob, he travels all over the country because he's got a lot of money anyway. But I do a lot of local tournaments, and quite honestly, I really enjoy doing the local tournaments. A lot of times I'm the only referee there, sometimes maybe 2 or 3 of us, but we're working with skill level players, and again, you're giving them an opportunity to have a referee and to experience playing with a referee under tournament conditions. And so a lot of local tournaments, I've done them for free. Sometimes they'll give you a gift card for a certain denomination. Sometimes I'll get a flat fee for $3 or for 3 days of various amounts. And typically you get your lunch, there's snacks available. Sometimes I'll even offer lodging for 1 or 2 evenings if you want to take that. So it's there's a whole array of compensation levels that you're going to experience. I can tell you right up front that certified referees are, you're not going to make a living doing it. The goal here is to break even at best, maybe make a little money in the process, but to give the players the experience of having a referee and bringing that to the game, that's the important part of it. I'll let Bob talk about the compensation level at the higher levels where he's at.
So to summarize what Ron said, on average, if you're a certified referee, you're probably going to make about $150 to $200 per day if you're working the full day. And then there'll be some bonuses based upon the number of matches that you may have done over that tournament, or the number of tournaments that you participated in with that particular tour. Having said that, if you have traveled and you have airfare and you have lodging and you have car, you can very quickly see that you're not going to be able to cover that expense. And so that's kind of a normal activity. So as Ron said, you're not going to get into this business because you're trying to supplement. It's more of a hobby, right? However, this is beginning to change. When I first started, before I started, referees weren't ever paid at all. When I first started in 2018, a trained referee got $5 and a certified referee got $7. Ooh. Now it's $10 for an L2 and $15 per match, and so that's gone up. now that you were beginning to see a lot more money come into these professional tours and getting trickled down to the players, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, a lot of pressure on right now to give the referees more money. Okay? And Ron's talked about my role and the higher level. I don't get paid more, but what happens is that in a tournament, there are specific roles that you can do. You can be a referee, or you can be a referee coordinator, or you can be a head ref. And if you're a referee coordinator or you're a head ref, you're generally going to get a per diem that's a little bit more than what the a full-time referee, full-day referee would get. Plus, you're going to get some of your expenses covered. You're going to get potentially lodging, potentially travel. And so that's where, at the end of the year, after you've itemized all of this stuff, you may actually be in the black instead of in the red. So again, this is something you do because you love it. I perceive it as it's a hobby that's paying for itself. You know, I used to spend thousands of dollars every year snow skiing for 3 or 4 weeks, and now I'm making a little bit of money, and I'm on the road 26 weeks, and it's a win-win for me.
Yeah, and you're doing something you love. So, okay, you have anything to add to that? Or you?
I will say that outside of the compensation, the things that you do get as a somewhat of a reward, for me personally, one of the biggest rewards I've gotten being a referee at a local tournament. I had one not too long ago. I was the head referee at the tournament, and Bob was there, and I got to boss him around. And the student working on the instructor, I tell you, it was a great pleasure.
Yeah. They're definitely rewarding. I like it. So finishing up here, I want to ask you one more question about the USAP, how they support you along this process.
Great, good question. So as we've talked about today, really most everything that we've talked about today is something that USA Pickleball has put in place. The website that I gave you earlier, which is usapickleball.org, go and get involved, and officiating and rules, is all sponsored and maintained by USA Pickleball. So if you are not already a member, I strongly suggest that you join USA Pickleball, not only because there are some member benefits that you get, but also what you're doing is you are supporting the organization that sets the rules and provides this framework for all of us to do anything. Also, if you do decide that you want to become a referee, it will be a requirement for you to join USA Pickleball. So all of that information that's available there is something that USA Pickleball has put together. And hopefully we've given you some excitement and passion to understand what's involved. So there's a lot of study, there's online materials there. There's coursework, classes that you can attend either online or in person or one-on-one, and there's information to find that there. There are people around the country, that you can find through the referee search tool that will help you help guide you through that process and begin to assess you as you feel like you're ready to go through those various different things. Having said that, Ron and I, as he mentioned earlier, we're both registered referee trainers. And obviously we're doing this not for us, but we're doing this for you because hopefully we're trying to entice you to become referees. If you have any follow-up questions for us, feel free to reach out to us through that referee search tool that you will find on that website that I just gave you. We're both in Indiana, so you can find us by looking for referees in Indiana. There's a relatively small list in Indiana, so you will be able to find us very, very quickly. And then what that will do is you can send an email to us through the MemberLeap system, and we can get back to you and help you out with any additional questions that you might have. Otherwise, hopefully we've made this an exciting, we've helped you understand that this is an exciting vocation, and I really hope to see you out on the courts.
Do you have anything you want to add or final thoughts?
No, I think Bob covered it well. I would just encourage anybody that has an interest to reach out to us or somebody in their locality, wherever they might be. We're always willing to help and look forward to getting more people involved.
Good. Yeah, thank you guys for taking the time out to do that. I hope that was helpful to you guys. I hope that some of you guys will start the process here and go through with it. And like they said, contact them if you If you need assistance, they're great guys. I'm sure they'll be happy to help you out. Thank you to Jenny at Drop Shot here for the facility. Thank you for joining us on the hot seat.
Thank you, John, for that insightful interview. If you like what you've seen today and you want to watch more of the hot seat, please make sure you like and subscribe so that you can be notified for the next upcoming episode. We look forward to seeing you there. Take care.